back to the Python class. So in this lecture we'll be talking about the for loop, and just like if and while, this is also one of the most important topic in programming language. So a for loop is used for iterating over a sequence. Okay, so a sequence can be a list, okay, and it can be a tuple, dictionary, set, or a string. Okay, and we are familiar with the string, and a list basically a collection of different numbers, different type of sentences, different type of words, okay, separated by this. So the main difference is this. And if we talk about the tuple, this is how, I mean, like how we create a tuple. You just put some entries here in the list part too, and in just say this tuple part also. Dictionary was a collection of keys and then the value. So for loop is used mainly because of the keyword. I mean, just skip this part, okay, don't really have to put your head into this one. Okay, so object oriented programming, will be talking about this concept too. So with the for loop we can execute a set of statements, okay, once for each set, each item in a list, tuple, set, anything else. So let's just say if we have a fruits as a list of fruits, okay, and we are using our for loop structure. So how you're gonna write the for loop is you have to write for, and then what is the name of the list, and then you have to assign a variable. Using that variable you have to iterate over the whole list. Okay, so x would be first apple, then next time it would be banana, and then for cherry. Okay, so you are just writing like for x, so x would be whatever the value currently in the fruit, okay, in which you are iterating. Okay, so using this structure, what output we'll be getting is first x would be printing first value, and then the second value, and then the third value. So if we just iterate through over a string, so this is a string, okay, you can use this thing also, or you can just, let's just say I'm just declaring a variable and then storing that banana to that variable, and I'll be writing like 4x in that particular string. Okay, so I will have to write, change this one with this one. So for now, let us say x in banana would be every single character. So the first one would be this, second, third, fourth, this is all. So when we'll be running this thing, so we'll be getting as an output b, a, n, a, n, a. Okay, so whatever the character in the string is. Okay, so I've just added a cell for the for loop heading, and then a text code for writing my code. Okay, so I've declared a list here. Okay, so we'll be doing the complete video, I mean, like how I'm doing that thing, but let's just say I've created a list, and using that list variable, now what I'm just doing here, I'm using an I variable to iterate over the whole complete list, which is my list. Okay, I'm just printing every value in the list. So this is how you'll get your value printed. And let's just say if I have a string here, and using my string variable, and then using x, I'm just iterating over every character of the list. Okay, this is how we're gonna, and let's just say if we just change that variable with, let's just say if I'm writing banana, if I'm just iterating over this one, then I'll be getting the output like this. And let's just say if I'm like not using a variable for it and just writing a simple sentence, let's just say my name is Kazi. Okay, so this is my list, I'm just iterating over using a for loop, and this is all I'll be getting the output. Okay, every character, and 4 is just iterating over it. Okay, so let's just move toward the other part, and that part is break statement. So how you gonna use break statement in the for loop? Okay, so let's just say if I'm using a list, okay, and using a for loop to iterate over that whole list and printing every value, and just writing a statement, let's just say if my variable is kind of equal to a banana, that means like if iterating over the whole list, if that variable equals to banana, then just break, stop processing it. Okay, so what we will be getting is first iteration would be running fine if condition is false, no problem. The second iteration will goes like banana if condition gets true, and we'll go inside this if condition, and the break statement would be stopping the program. So we won't be, x won't enter into the third part. Okay, and let's just say in the condition, this is how I'll be writing it. Okay, and you can use the print statement before and after too. Let's just see the difference. I mean, like if I'm just printing here or outside the statement. Okay, let's just see the difference of what we get in. So my current program is this. So what I want is I just created a list here. Okay, and after creating a list, I'm just iterating override using a variable f here, okay, and then I'm just printing that variable, and inside that variable I'm just writing a condition that if my f equals to banana, then print this message and break the program. Okay, let's just run it and we'll see that apple, grapes, banana, and when banana enter, we just printed a message like alert, we have a banana here. Okay, so let's just use this print statement and write it after. Let's just not make it a part of the if statement. Okay, I mean like this is my f comma and then writing a message inside f. Let's just print again, and this is a message with like outside f, and let's just write this like here. So now let's just run our program here and see what we will get. Okay, inside haven't run, and we haven't printed anything outside it. I mean like before the if statement, and then outside the if statement. So when the if statement gets true, so we don't have anything printed here too. Okay, I mean like we have results of the outside part, and this statement won't be executed, and the reason is that we told the program to do break thing, so it won't be doing anything after that, and this statement is running for the first two times when the if statement is false. So let's just say if I just simply stop this message, then just simply printing whatever is in fact, so you can see that. And one more interesting thing is that, so when the if condition gets true, we won't be getting this print message because we go to the break part. Okay, so let me just comment that thing, and the shortcut of that is control plus forward slash. Just keep this thing in your mind that before the if statement, if I'm writing a print statement, that means that that thing would be printed and then we'll be going into the print statement. Okay, and if I'm writing out after it, so that means if the if condition is true, then the last one won't be printed. You can see the difference here. I mean like let me just run this thing again, so you'll get these things. Okay, banana is not included here, and if I'm just printing this message, and just be really sure about this thing, that you have to be really sure about the indentation part. Okay, you can see the difference here, the indentations are not matching, and now the banana is included. Okay, now let's just move toward the other part. In the other part, we'll be using this continue statement too in the for loop. So how the continue statement works? So the continue statement is like, let's just say this is a list, you are just iterating over it using an x variable. If that x variable is true, just continue. Okay, we don't want any issues, just continue it, continue doing. Okay, let's just say if I just want a program to continue a statement. Okay, let's just say if I'm, let me just use that thing again. Okay, let me just use that whole program again. Let me just create a new cell here, and this is the new cell here, writing that whole thing again. And in that break statement, I'm just writing like continue. Okay, continue working on it, and let's just run this thing. Okay, and see the difference here. So this is like apple, grapes, banana, and then alert message of woohoo. Okay, because I just want to see if the statement gets true or not. Okay, and then at the end we have our remaining entries too. Okay, so keep this thing in mind, guys, and let's just move toward the other part. So we'll be also talking about these range function too. So what is this range function? So range function is basically is, I mean like declaring a list of numbers. Okay, and whatever the range is, it just iterate over that number right before it. So that will be, if I'm writing like 6, so we'll be moving from 0 to 6. Okay, oh sorry, 0 to 5 and not 6. Okay, so it's not included. So let's just say another way of using that range function is uh, another way of, I mean like the output of this program, first of all, let's just keep this in mind, that would be like 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, right before 6 it will be stopped. And another way of using that, if I'm just, if I just want to tell my program that start from this number and then end towards this, so using this format will be going towards 2 3 4 5. Okay, and let's just say another way of using this range function, and if I'm using like here, so that would be like 2 3, oh sorry, that results would be in the new lines. Okay, 2 3 4 5. Okay, and let's just say this is another way, this is another way. So range function right here would be like, this function is showing the step size. So what would be the step of this? So starting from 2, then adding 3 would be like 5, and then 8, and then 11, and then right towards 30 and iterate just before 30. Okay, so 30 is excluded, and we'll be moving toward 29 and see if that number is a part of it. Okay, so let's just use this program, or let's just practice this thing, okay, on our code part. So this would be just a basic range function, and I'm just trying to write this message before it. I'm just counting it. Okay, so you can see provided the range with 11 and stopped right before it to 10. Okay, and this is where I'm just providing it with the starting range and the ending range and increment size. Okay, so that would be like 2, 6, and then 10 is excluded, so will be stopped right before it. Now let's just move toward the last part of our class today, and that is else in the for loop. Okay, so how would I be using that else statement? So it would be like, for this number, just do this thing, or else move towards this part. Okay, so that would basically be like, if the range is stopped or if the list elements are like completed, then move toward the else part. Okay, so that would be like, let's just say if I'm writing this thing, so for this thing, let me just write a simple program for it. Just give me a second. Why don't we can just move toward the, so this is how the else part would be doing. I mean, like, we have just declared a range, and then loop iterating through it, starting from 0, iterating is stopped just before 5 till 4, and then we have our exit message here. Okay, so another part of this session would be also we using this thing too. I mean, like, for this range, if the condition is this, do the break thing. Okay, and shift toward this thing. Let's just see what the output of this code would be. Okay, so if it equals to 5, go to the break part. So let's just run it, and if that equals to 5, if that equals to 5, then we have our iteration of the first part only. Okay, which is 4, and right after 4 the result was 5, so we just break upon it. Let's just say if we have a number like 6 and it's not equal to 5, then we'll be moving towards completing the session, completing the for loop, and then ending after it. Okay, I mean, like 6, 7, 8, 9, iterating just before it just stopped if condition isn't working. Okay, and you can see the indentation right here, and both of the indentations are like in the same side. So if print is not a part of it, and we have just used the simple single line if condition. Okay, and the for loop is completed, and then the control is shift towards the else part. Okay, and if we have anything like our condition gets true, let's just say a condition gets true, let me just write this from like from 1 to 10. So we'll be having our first 4 printed, then the if condition gets true, and we'll be moving towards the break part. Okay, and this line is kind of like printing what the message is here. Okay, and simply we can use different ranges too. I mean, like, let's just say we have like multiple loops. So let's just say we have two lists. One is of these things, and the other one is of the fruit. And then what I'm just doing here is, first loop is like iterating over the first list, second loop is iterating over the second list, but it is nested inside it. Okay, so what nested means is like, the first loop would be iterating one time, the second loop would be completed, then the first loop control will be shift toward the first loop, it will iterate toward the other part, and then the second loop. You can see here, I mean, like, the range of the first is like 0, 1, and 2, and then the second one is 11, 12, 13. Okay, so you can see the output right here. I mean, like, from 0, 11, 0, 12, 0, 13, and then 1, 11, 1, 12, 1, 13, and 2, 11, 2, 12, and 2, 13. Okay, and simply at the end we can even use the pass statement if we don't want the program to do anything. Okay, so that would be like, if I'm just writing here like, for I in range of, let's just say, 10 numbers, just do nothing, pass. Okay, so we won't be having any output here. Okay, Now let's just move towards the exercise part right here too. And in the exercise part, what type of exercise will we have in this session, that would be like for loop through the items in the fruit. Okay, so this is the item and how you're gonna loop through it. Okay, so let me just change this a little bit. So that would be kind of like this. Okay, so this is how we'll be solving this question. Okay, so you have to write something here and something here, and we'll be iterating over this. What should be written at the end also, and what would be the indentation here. You have to write this inside your program window. Okay, and the other one is, this is the for loop, this is the list. Okay, and what you have to do is you have to iterate over it, and when you have banana, then jump directly to the next item. So what should be written here? Okay, and then use the range function to loop through a code set 6 times. So what should be written here? To loop through it 6 times. Okay, and then the other one is exit the loop when x is banana. Okay, so we have our list here, for loop ready, if statement is here. So what should be written, I mean like here or here, wherever, to just exit from this when the condition gets true. Okay, so this is all the exercise part, and thank you so much guys. Bye.